Thank you. Okay. So, can everybody see me here?
Yeah.
Yep, you can see me good. All right. Good. So, good morning again. Once again, it's a Tuesday morning. Beautiful day in May. So, we're going to get rocking and rolling. All right. So, you have your ball close by just in case we need it, or a towel or a block. And I'm going to start with my knees bent. So, just coming up on my sits bones to really feel some movement. And as I do that, my little tush starts to crawl forward. That's a good thing. Crawls forward, good. All right, so sitting here, holding on to my ankles. My heels are closer to my groin space. I'm just gonna bend forward and release it. And bend it forward and release it. And bend it forward and release it. And bend forward and release. Okay, just takes a little bit of the tightness out of your lower back. Bringing your knees together, if you can bring them together. Move your feet away from you if you need to. So the knees are together, and we're just gonna do a little hug. So hug your knees. Let your back round out. Hold that for a minute. Come out of it. Now let's just do a twist. Twist side to side. Great. Okie doke. So now we're going to lie flat on our mat. All the way down. So I'm going to rest my head on my ball. I'm going to take my arms long beside me, draw my shoulders back and down. When I do that, my rib cage starts to open. I feel that it lifts, and I also feel sometimes this part of my back starts to curve up and away. So your job is to basically do it with, sometimes when I do this, I feel better. I know what I'm doing. So I'm going to take my hands, I'm pressing the top part of my rib down, and I feel my back really kissing the mat. So that's what I'm looking for, that middle back to get down and long. So arms are straight, shoulders are back and down, push down those ribs, okay? So you can feel that middle back. And then just rock your pelvis forward and back. Inhale, exhale. It's great because we really get to detach. When we do this, we get to detach from our upper body a little bit. Keep going. Good. Okay, neutral spine. So neutral spine is happening here because you're flat. But if you were moved to a seated position without a back behind you, or standing without anything behind you, you would be what we call imprinting. So everything we're doing here can be done seated and standing. And think about that all the time when you're standing. That's what our posture, why we're pulling down and creating better posture. Okay, so now we're going to take the pelvic tilt and we're going to lift up. Our feet are together, knees are together, and we're coming up in a small bridge. Inhale, exhale, move it back down. Now, if you feel more comfortable doing your bridge without anything under your head weight, go for it. I'm keeping my knees together because I find that it challenges me a little bit more. My hamstrings, my hip flexors, quads. And this is just more or less warming us up. Great. So right knee, take it all the way in and release your left leg long. Okay. that breath. Inhale, exhale. So then take your left hand along the bottom part, tibia, and release your right arm down. Draw this across. Now watch your right shoulder. You don't want it to lift. Inhale, right into the piriformis, the IT band, some of the lower back. Inhale, exhale. And release it. All right, so the left side. We're bringing the knee in tight, resting on the rib cage, hands on the tibia. Left arm is long. Inhale. Exhale, keep my left shoulder down. My knee is coming up as tight as you can. Inhale, exhale. Release it and back. Good. All right, so the first thing we're going to do today is we're going to start with some rolls, but we're going to do the boat pose thing, and we're going to move from that position. Now I have my ball under my head. And this, of course, is going to support and help me. I suggest that if you're struggling with allergies right now and rocking might create a little dizziness because you're so impacted, then you may want to keep the ball there instead of going to a flat head. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to place my hands on the lower part of the leg. I'm going to come into that knot and bow. So I'm in this position. Now I'm going to rock myself. I'm just rocking. Now I'll preface this again. If you have osteoporosis, please do not do this movement. Osteopenia, you could do this. Now come all the way up. Okay, so now we're going to roll like a ball, and we're going to go from this position down flat. We're going to try it many different ways. So you have options. Leg up, hands to the outside. That's option one. Leg up, hands under the knee. That's option two. Leg up and hands wrapped all the way around, holding on to the ankle space. Where your legs are wider, so you're spreading more of the back of your lower back. So you find out what's good for you. I prefer my hands under here with my legs lifted in tabletop. Now inhale, let my back drop, roll, and come up. So when I come up, I want to have a nice straight back. Drop and lift. So what's a modification if you don't or you should not roll? So I would say get back on the floor on your back and do some of those piriformis stretches. Other things, you could go back to your bridge. You can also just do leg stretches. There's always an alternate that you can use. You never have to do what the teacher's doing. You know your body. Good. Try not to swing and release. Okay. So we're up at the top. So one of the things I wanted to talk about with the roll like a ball is we need to remember that we're not swinging our legs back so you don't gain momentum with your legs, and you're not pulling with your chin, okay? So that's why this way is really, this is a beginner position. Here, with your hands across the front of your lower legs, your knees in, this is a more advanced place, and I say advanced, I don't like to use that word, but truly what that means is you want to make sure that you have the strength, okay? So let's try it a couple times with your hands in front of the lower part of the leg, all right? Just challenge yourself. So the same thing, you're going to inhale, lower the back, and then roll up. A little more, a little harder. Roll back, come up. Now notice that when my hands are against my legs, it's not giving me the option to kick my leg out. And again. Good. Okay. So we're up at the top, sitting nice and long. Take your favorite ball. So it's placed here behind my lower back. Okay. And I'm leaning against it. So it's my little backrest right now. Okay. My shoulders are backing down and my arms are out. So I'm actually leaning against the ball for now. Now I'm not going all the way back and I'm not coming all the way up. I'm literally leaning against this ball so that it sticks and stays. So with this position, my arms are out. I'm still plugged in. I'm not here. I'm straight back. Just bring your right arm up and the left arm. And when you do that, feel the length. The ribs are lifting. And down. Now staying here, we're going to take our elbows outside. So when we're pulling back, you're feeling the contraction of your abdominals, your obliques, and your back, even though you're against that ball. We're going to. I can really feel this challenge. I'm pointing my toes. I'm adding resistance to this movement. So here's my opposition. My opposition's at this end of my body to here. All right, coming up and releasing your back. Good. Okay, so let's take our legs wide for now. Keeping the ball tucked, real tight. That brings us up a little bit higher. Good. So now the next thing you're going to do is those arms are out. They're plugged. They're lower. They're not up here, okay? Because the arms aren't doing the work. It's the abdominals and the obliques, okay? So now let's articulate. Feel that lower back drop, 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 drop. You're here. Now let's open. And then move it up. So use everything through here, through the back. Then come to a spine stretch forward. I'm going to a straight back. I'm articulating. I'm dropping first in my lower lumbar. Down, down, down. I find the ball, keeping my shoulders plugged. My back is over that ball. I'm opening my arms and then lifting. So once again, what's a modification? If you have, say, a shoulder impingement and you can't move into the shoulder girdle. Well, I would suggest, first of all, come back, stay here, and just drop your arms on top of you, and then lift. Any extension in your shoulder girdle could either be A, painful, which is not good. Pain is usually a 4-letter word. It's a sign. And again, you're opening that rib. And lift. Let's try one more. I love the way that spine stretch gets right into your back. It's like it's a wake-up call. Oh. Good. Shake it out, shake it out. All right. So you guys are on the floor. Right now, I'm on top of my studio reformer. So if I go too far, I could go off about 14 inches, which you don't really want to see. But you're flat on the floor. So what you're going to do, we're going to do this. I can do it also. But I really want you to take it for an exaggeration so that you really open up hip flexors and all the way up into your rib cage, okay? So the first thing is you're going to lean, you're going to do your spine stretch. But remember, resist the lower abdominals and really feel the back opening up, okay? So I'm leaning, spine stretch. I'm not down here, I'm lifted. Now I'm going to drop my left hand to the mat and I'm going to roll onto my left hip. When I do that, right away, you can feel hip flexors. You can go all the way up through the, and I'm reaching. Now, for some of us, keeping our feet apart is more important. For others of you, you may want to challenge yourself and stack your hips. So that would mean you would stack your foot on top of the opposite. Release that. Sweep your hands across. Right hand goes down. I'm stacking my hip. Now, if you notice, I keep my right elbow straight. And then release it. Now, let's take our feet a little wider on the floor as we do this. Again, because then you have more connection with your foot down onto the mat. And sometimes you feel a little less stretching through. You're getting stretching all the way down through the side of the body, even including in through the side of the legs, through some of the hip. Keep going. Oh, this feels really good. Reach, reach. And release. So see how I'm sweeping my fingers across my toes, dropping my arm. Oh, that felt great through my waist. Okay, shake it out. So let's do our seated spine stretch while we're here. Our legs are wide, which is where they should be, as wide as your mat. So you're lifted in a straight back. The ball doesn't, I want you to use this ball in the front of our spot now. So we're going to use it right at the belly space. So as the ball comes into your belly space, right, you got a belly button, the pubic bone, right in that space there. You're going to take your left hand behind it. So I could take my left hand behind me, but my shoulder could be rolled forward. So I'm going to have you think about that. If I'm seated tall, left arm's behind me, I want my shoulder back. Okay. Inhale, spine stretch. Now notice that I'm not dropping my head. I'm leading with my chest. And come out of it. And again. And up. And roll forward. And again. Roll forward. And release it. Good. Okay. So holding with my left hand, my right hand is behind me. Same thing. I'm going to feel the length all the way up and through. My legs are extended. Hand is against my back. My right shoulder is pushed back as far as it can go. Inhale. Not bow. Spine stretch it. And remember, you lead with the chest. You lead with the ribs. You lead with the shoulders. Yes, your head is not in bowing, but you can feel the connection of the sits bones down. I want you to always think about that shoulder. Keep it back. One more. And release it. Good. Shake it out, shake it out. So let's take this ball now and we're going to place it between our legs at the very top, all the way up. You're sitting long on your mat again. So when you do that, what you're creating is, when we used to come to the clubhouse, we had these circles. I was going to show you one, but we have circles that have resistance to them. And truly, they take the place of the resistance, since you get to see on my reformer here. See, we have these springs that some are tighter than others. See how they resist both back and forward. So when you're using that magic circle, that's the mindset of it, so that you can do mat work and not be on a reformer. We can do it from other places. But this ball is going to take that. So place the ball between the legs. Okay. So you're going to squeeze. You're going to squeeze your legs as tight as you can. You're trying to get your heels together. But don't let your feet drop out. Keep them lifted and up. You want to keep them up. Good. So now, keep your back nice and tall and bring your hands behind you. They're working as a way of like a kickstand to hold your body up and forward. So here you are with your hands down. Feel how your ribs open up. Shoulders are down, but chest is wide open, okay? So stay in this position and feel that length. It could possibly be very uncomfortable for you with hamstring as well as quadricep. Challenge yourself. And if you need to release the legs. Don't release the upper body, okay? So bend the knees if you need to release. Keep the legs straight. Let's try this again. Release your knees and try it again. And release your knees. Good. All right, coming out of that. So today, as you see, what we're trying to really gain is a lot of opening in the pecs, clavicle, all this space here. Because I'm sure, like me, everyone is here, seated, eating. Hopefully we're not. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is, as we squeeze this ball, we're going to do some saws. So the ball is taking the place of, like when our legs are wide when we do the saw, we're not doing it that way now. We're going to keep our legs tight against the ball. Toes are up to the ceiling. You're leaning in. So I want you to just sweep first, side to side. See how when you turn, you're keeping your chest open. And again, to the other. Good. Okay, so the rotation came back. So now we're going to keep the ball there, but you're going to relax on it a little bit where your legs open up some, not a lot, but you're going to relax on it. Shoulders back, and let's go into our saw. Keep your feet dorsiflexed, okay? So they're up. Keep them dorsiflexed, shoulders back. Let's rotate. I'm going towards my left side. My left hand stays up and behind me. My right arm reaches to the outside of that left foot. And while I'm there, I'm going to saw, 2, 3, come up, straight back, stack your vertebra, and turn. Other side. Let's reach. Saw, 2, 3, come up. Inhale, exhale, twist. Come on, you can do this. Saw, 2, 3, come up, straight back. Twist, 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 twist. And again, saw, 2, 3. Inhale, exhale. And saw, 2, 3. Release it, shake it out. Okay, stay right there. So you're going to take the ball out from between your legs. I hear some birdies because I opened my window. So you're going to take the ball out from between your legs, and you're going to place it. Let's see if you have a block, a ball, or a what I'm going to have you do is sit on this. So when you sit, it gives you that, you feel like you're going to fall. You're going to cross your legs in front. But right away, what this does is it lifts your hips up so that you're more forward. Okay, so you're more rooted down. And you can really feel that hip forward here. Okay, so if you cross your legs in front, you will notice that your knees are down farther and away from you, right? That's a good thing because it's opening up your hips a little bit. So in this position, we're going to do some balance work. So the first thing we're going to do is find your balance. Get your hands away from the floor. Use your balance. So the first thing I want you to do is bring your right arm up and release it down. And to the other side, bring it up and release it down. Bring it up and release it down. So bring it up and release it down. Left arm up. So see yourself, you're really grounded on that ball or that block. And release it down. Okay, hold that there. So a modification, if you find this is very difficult, right? So you're going here. If you find you're going here, then you need to really pay attention to your body. The arm is working alone. Yes, the core is supporting it. It's getting it up there. But if you're going here and you find yourself falling into this, your range of motion is coming into play. And I really want you to think about it, because we're never going to get stronger. And around the joint, the connective tissue and any scar tissue isn't going to be released if we don't pay attention to that. So the first thing you want to do is, if I come here and I find that that's as far as I can go without dipping into my body, then go here and come down. So what do you do in the meantime when you want to get rid of the scar tissue? My suggestion, and I talk to people about this, especially with reconstructive surgery, is your hand is behind your head and you take your fingers and go into this space and really massage. And you can move it. You can move a lot of that scar tissue around, and the scar tissue buildup will release. It will over time. Okay, it takes a long time. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is, let's bring our arm forward. So if we bring this arm forward, let's bring it up, circle it, and down. The left arm. So here you go again. You got to think about the movement. Are you going like this, up, and because your range of motion is out of play, then just go to where it works for you. Don't be intimidated. If your movement isn't a full circumduction, it's not important. So when we do arm circles with resistance work on this reformer, we try desperately to keep our arm completely straight at the joint. Okay, let's reverse. So we're going to reverse both together, because this is going to help you from a balance perspective. So your arms are out, bring them up, circle, and down. There you go, looking good. A lot of times people talk about circling arms and working with their arms this way. Sometimes fatigues around their neck, like their levators and scalenes, and it does. It really, truly does. Now release your arms. So for that, because we were using some of our arms, you're still up on that ball. We're going to take our chin to the chest. Let's roll to the inside of the right shoulder. So I'm bringing my chin over, 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 over. I'm releasing. Inhale, exhale. To the left side. Inhale, exhale. Use your breath. Exhale. And release it. Good. All right. Look. Turn right and turn left. Turn right and turn left. So after you've turned right and turned left, then come off your ball. Release yourself off your ball. Good. Okay. So now we're going to go onto our back again. So use your ball underneath your head. Okay. So we're going to go into a couple of different leg, like circles, single bent knee, straight leg. We haven't done a straight leg for a while, so I think I'd like to start with that. So our back is down. Okay, let's reassess our posture. So arms are long, shoulders are back, the chest lifts, but so does part of the back. So we have to push the rib down to feel that spine all the way snug to the mat. Okay, so if we do a straight leg, what the straight leg's going to mean is the right leg comes up. We're going to release the left leg long. So when they're in this position right away, if you're here, you want to straighten your knee, okay? Take it to a place where you're completely straightened. Your left leg has to be strong and controlled. If you want to point the toe, point the toe. If you want to flex the foot, flex the foot. But hold on behind the hamstring. So here's my leg straight, right? And that's what we're looking for. Now, I'm going to lift with a knot in the bow. And what's going to happen here is I'm going to trade legs. Right leg is down. So that right foot is flexed. That leg is strong. This left leg is straight and my hand's on the hamstring. Okay, so that's where we're going. Let's put our head down. So now what we're going to do is we're going to change this up. You're going to take your fingers and they're going to hold to the outside or to this part of the leg, depending on how you're going to go through the movement for a straight leg. Now, I'm going to point my toes. We're going to inhale. I'm holding up here. I'm changing legs. Straight leg. Good. Both legs in, bend the knees. All right, let your knees go side to side. Inhale, exhale. Keep going. Looking good. Okay. So now we're going to do a bent knee stretch. Okay. So we're going to come in tabletop. Back has to be tight. Okay. We're going to go up into our knot and bow again. Today is a challenge day for you. You're going to extend that left leg. But when we extend it, we're not taking it up to the ceiling unless you feel it's pulling on your back and your back starts to lift like this, okay? You have to really pay attention to the movement. So let's take it a step at a time. Tabletop, knot and bow. So now I'm going to draw my right knee in. This left toe is going to be pointing 45 or higher. Inhale, exhale. Bring it in tight if you want. Feet together, head weight down to the floor. Let's let the knees drop again. Left side, up center, right side. It's very busy in this house today. Phones are ringing. People are mowing lawns outside. My husband's working in the next room. The joys of working from home, right? And center. All right. So we did a single bent knee and we did a long leg, a straight leg stretch. So why don't we try something with both legs together, okay? So we're going to lift both legs up. So we're going to do a double leg. Now, I'm going to caution you, okay? Caution you. You need to remember that when you're doing a double leg, when you extend that leg out, the weight of that leg, triple it, okay? So that's what's pulling. So if your back and your abdominals aren't strong, this could actually create a problem. So my suggestion is to raise your legs higher, okay? So we're here. I'm going to do a nod and bow so you can see me. So we're going to extend both legs out and bring them in. Both legs out and bring them in. Let's add some arms. Okay, head weight down. Looks good. Okay, so we're going to take the right leg up and we're going to point and flex. Keeping it left knee bent. So with this right leg, the leg is up, knee is straight, foot is flexed, take it straight down. Point the toe and raise it up. Flex. So all the energy, you can, not all the energy, but the majority of the energy, because here's a lot of energy, right? But the leg is creating a lot of energy. It's forcing you to also evaluate your core. Okay, so keeping the leg up, releasing the left foot long. We're going to go into circles. So we're going to first take this leg across the body. And as we do, we're not going to rock out. We're going to keep our back flat. We're going to bring it down we're going to bring it down to the mat and bring it straight up. So we're not going to do a full circle here. Let's do a half circle. Because then we really have to control it. Across the body, ribs are tight, belly is strong. I'm not pivoting at all. Okay, keep it up. So we're going to need to take it to the outside, center, and lift. To the outside, center, and lift. And I will remind you that it's a total fallacy. Sometimes you'll see Pilates classes where people are swinging their legs around like they're not attached to their body. That is not a good Pilates class. Just saying. Now bring your knee in. Everything is always working from the core. Both feet are flat. Left leg up, point, flex. Knee is straight, back is down, shoulders are long, or arms are long, shoulders are down. Keep the foot flexed down to the mat, point the toe and raise it. Now up and exhale. Inhale and exhale. All right, bringing this leg up, releasing the right leg down, okay? So if you find that it's down and this leg is pulling and you can't get the knee straight, bring the leg to a place where the leg stays straight, okay? I'm pointing my toe across my body and straight up. My hips are not rocking. Trying to bring my leg up as high as I can to get a full range of motion through my hip. One more in this direction. So take it up. Let's reverse it to the outside. Lift. And lift. This one. Good. Knee comes in. Get a good stretch. Okay, both feet are flat. Let's drop our knees again to the right. So when we're over here on the right, our shoulder stays down. We're going to take this a little deeper because you're farther in to your workout. So I think your body can support this. Your arms are long. If you want to take this top leg
Sheila,
off,
it's 11:15 right now, just letting you know.
Thank you, Allison. So you can cross this left leg over. just to get an extra hip and back stretch. And right center into the other side. Keep that right shoulder down. I'm going to cross it over. And release it. Good. Okay. So we're going to roll ourselves up. Now, the last thing I want to do is I do want to do some movements on your belly. We want to do some extension work. So if you have your ball, I like to place it right. Here's the bottom of my, like the top of my xiphoid process. And place it there. So it shouldn't interfere at all with breast tissue. Your elbows are down. Now right away, boy, I feel a tremendous extension in my ribs. Really good for belly space, really good. I'm on my elbows, but I'm not dropping. I'm keeping myself lifted. So I always need to be reminded of this lower back. So no compression here. So in order to avoid that, you got to pull your belly button in as tight as could be. Pull it in. Good. So now I like to talk about spider fingers. If it's uncomfortable to your fingers, of course, you're not going to do it. We just got to throw some fun things in. So here's my fingers down. My elbows are bent. My spider fingers are there, but I'm going to move them forward. And I'm going to lift and release and lift. Really feel your ribs. Oh, but don't let the compression happen to that lower back. Always conscious of keeping your tummy tight. One more. Good. Okay. So taking that ball out now, you're going to say goodbye to it. You're going to come down onto your chest, okay? So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to take your hands, rest your head on your hands. Legs are long. So now I want you to open your legs wider on your mat, okay? Almost as wide as your mat. And lift the left leg only. Release it. Lift the right leg. You can keep your head down. Inhale, exhale. Okay. Bring your legs together now. So you were doing a prone hip extension. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to keep our legs together, tight. And when you're bringing your legs together and your feet are together, I'm going to have you do what's called a Pilates V. So rotate at the top of your femur, turn the toes out, but bring the heels together. We call this a Pilates V. It's more of a plie, really. So you're in this position. For some of us, it's very uncomfortable. If it is, you're not going to stay there. Now, in this position, I'm going to lift up my chest, remove my arms and extend them, and then bring them back. So when I lift, I've got to keep my belly tight so that I don't compress any of the back. I'm strengthening and lengthening. Hold it up here. Hold it up. Place your hands on your lower lumbar. Stay there for a minute and then release. And release. Keeping your heels together, that Pilates V. One more. Good. Hands down. You're going to lift yourself up. Okay. So we're going to go into some weight work. If you would, you're going to stand. We're going to stand. So find your weights. Okay. So in this position, we're going to do first, we have our weights in our hands. We're going to do them with our feet together. Okay. So our feet are nice and tight together. Okay. So we're going to hold on to the weights. Let's curl up. Okay. So whenever you're doing this, okay, we can really get lazy doing weights. It's amazing. But I want you to think about this. Your knees are not locked. They're soft. Your hips are tilted a little forward, okay? Because you don't want to be hyperextended. You want to be rotated where the tailbone comes down and the pubic bone lifts, okay? So then you're relaxed in your upper body. Let's curl, press all the way up. Bring these down and take it through. All the way up. To feel that length. This is so fun to do weights after you do Pilates. You can really feel the length and the straightness of your body. Two more. And last one. So you have both weights in your hands. Take them together. So you're holding one here, right? We're keeping them together. We're going to bring them up and we're going to bring them back. Okay, so triceps. So there's a weight in each hand, or take the hands around both weights, whatever works for you. Once again, you're keeping your feet together. This is working some balance. If you feel uncomfortable here, of course, open your legs. So inhale and release it. And see how when we lift long and straight and down. Keep your knees soft, long and straight and down. One more. So in order to come out of this safely up and release it. Getting in and out of a movement is just as important as this is just as important as executing that movement. All right, feet apart. Knees slightly bent. Your pelvic tilt, remember, not exaggerated, but enough that you're softening up and you feel long, okay? So you have your weights in your hands. Let's take the upright row to the front. As you notice, I don't come up above my shoulder. Bring it down and then take it to the outside. So you're staying just under the shoulder. Stand firm, be nice and long. I always like to talk about, you could actually feel the roof of your mouth and the top of your head being pulled up and release. So the other side, front. Always conscious of your lower body, keeping it long, keeping it contracted, nice and firm. One more, outside and front. All right, so you have weights in both hands. You're in this position. We're going to do what we call an upright row, but I want you to bend into your knees just a little bit and tuck your tailbone under. So come up. So how high do you go? Come up to a place where your elbows are outside. I just don't want you to go here, okay? So take it out and release it. Take it out and release it. Take it out. Take it out and release it. Looking good, looking good. Oh, it's a beautiful day out there. Can't wait to get on my bike today. 2 more. Last one. Okay. So you have the weights in your hands and you're going to hold them to your side. You're going to open your legs wider. So now we're really going to just bring ourselves down to the conclusion of our class with some stretches in our neck. But when we hold the weights, it does the resistance work for us, okay? It's that oppositional pull. So you're holding them safely. Your elbows are straight, okay? You don't want to, you're not locking out. You're just holding the weight. Now take the right ear to the right shoulder. Come up. Left ear. Left shoulder. So it's really easy when our levators and scalene are tight to find that our head starts to turn. So think about it. Keep your eyes open. Look in front of you. And watch how you pull. Yep, you can feel that. Ear down. And with the weight in the hand, it really helps with a stretch. Okay. Now, bend down. Let's place our weights to the floor. So they're to the floor. You're going to come back up. So your feet are flat. Your knees are bent. You got that pelvic tilt. We're going to just do some breaths. So breathe in. Go through an open arm. Raise your body up and straighten up your knees. Reach to the ceiling. Reach, reach, reach to the right. All the way down and through that body. To the left. To the right. The energy's running through that body. It's either coming in or coming out those fingers. And release it down. Okay. Another class. We did it.
Thank you.
How'd everybody